Вот, всем привет! Сегодня у нас 7-й стрим по диско Elysium. 7-я запись это будет. 30 июня. Сейчас, секундочку. Ага, вот. Все. Начнем. Понял, почему она так иногда всплывает неправильно. Ладно. Вообще я говорил про войс и психосоматику. А? Войс, какая психосоматика? Так.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't fuck.
The trash container stands in the smell of rotten food rises to greet
Я
you.
даже не знаю,
Soggy cartons,
сейчас
dirty
что
rags,
делать
and
здесь.
organic waste. The container sounds a muffled gong.
Вечер, ну, это не означает, что всю ночь теперь меня будет нос течь. А я бегал вообще во вторник к той тетке.
G'day to you, officers.
A rusting control panel with loose wires dangling out from the hole where an indicator light used to be, and a mechanical lever sitting in the middle. This panel
Да,
closes the water.
да. Не помню, подходил я к ней, подходил ли я к ней во вторник.
But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything. You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then, nothing happens. Nothing happens. A cold gust of wind blowing in from the sea interrupts the silence of the situation.
Вот, да, я помню, что я несколько раз к ней бегал, но не помню, было ли это сегодня.
A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock to get across the canal. Some other way. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
А я что-то не помню. Так, что у меня по очкам навыков? Давайте я, короче, концептуализацию. Не-не-не-не-не, стоп. Я не помню, у... Что звук как-то тупил сейчас. Вечером еще надо к этому зайти, точно.
Hello again, officers. Have
Доступно
you
всего
come
один
to
раз.
admire my mural?
Так, вообще, стоп. У нас же есть карта, да, и можно посмотреть, что здесь требует концептуализацию. Энциклопедия, к слову. Да ёлы-палы. Менюшка глючная. А, да, кстати, я хотел прочитать книги. Да, это можно, но это попозже, возможно. Я сейчас должен решить, открывать ли ту дверь. Похиляться, что... Слушайте, дайте... Это меня раздражать будет очень сильно. Что это за фигня? Перезайду в игру сейчас. Я не знаю, почему звук моря просто... Кашляющее море, абсолютно. Что за фигня-то? Она как-то, видимо, не так подгрузилась, и все, и того. Она у меня кашлять научилась. Господи, я вчера так объелся пиццей вчера вечером. Это вообще ужас какой-то. Я думал, я не выживу. А еще я без стрима совершенно... как это сказать-то? Совершенно бессовестно без стрима играю в Агентство Шторм. Просто потому что такой, ну, партийку на часик-полтора, а стрим запускать, блин, на 1,5 часа как-то раздельно, ну, такое. Будем открывать, не будем?
The note
Just-
is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots. Someone has scribbled. S.
Я еще раз
I
нап-
can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Suliswaf.
Я понял одну вещь сейчас. Бежим. Этот блок памяти нужно хранить в холодильнике.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner, and you slip your fingers under the frozen lid. But the ice... No. This is going to need something else. If you want to try again, then you need to have...
Equip the pry bar.
Сейчас. Включим.
Both cables are unplugged from the breaker box. Somewhere, a machine hums along with the current. Happy.
Это ж, по-моему, должно...
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked...
Угу. Там я все обследовал, в принципе, поболтал, по-моему. Так. Что мы делаем? Что мы делаем? Что мы делаем? У нас есть одежда на авторитет. Есть на минус авторитет. Есть еще вот это на минус авторитет. 2 авторитета. Да уж, я вообще не авторитетный, просто жуть. Блин, я хочу в концептуализацию вложиться. Реально. Давайте чем черт не шутит, блин. И сюда и сюда. Все. Нафиг это очко беречь. Визуальным анализом. Так я верхние пытаюсь это вкладывать. Ну типа, я еще, возможно, психику буду докладывать. Техника, ну так получилось. Точно. Энциклопедия, ну так получилось. Опять же. Потом.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. It's barely covered in steam anymore. It's your face in the mirror, adorned with the expression. It belongs in the new, the third decade of the current century. Enough time had passed from the failure of the revolution that, for a fleeting moment, free market economy seemed like the ultimate
Я 6+5
uncontested
выкинул.
way of life
Обалдеть.
for our species. Things were good. It was smooth sailing. People made gold and champagne-tinted interiors and facades to suit the times, calling this the new style. But more importantly, disco happened.
Так. Как же я люблю систему 2D6 и 3D6. Это просто ужас
For
какой-то.
Revachol, your city. That meant only one thing. Guillaume la Million. If it doesn't rhyme, you're not pronouncing it right. Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music, in an open-air boîte de nuit, somewhere in Revachol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. He sang some bullshit. Then he made the expression. Everyone loved it. Maybe you thought some of the stardust would rub off on you. Maybe it did. Either way, it's all gone now. Only the grimace remains. There is a vast ocean of time between right now and the expression. Looking good on you, or anyone. 2 decades, if the calendar is to be trusted. Humanity has run aground in that time. It's a different world now. The expression
Ну,
is a
проверка какого. Так с этих, с концептуализация есть опыт уже. Поэтому и прокачал, чтобы пассивная концептуализация чаще работала.
Episodic memory, however, remains in the dark. It may never return. You should prepare yourself for that. The click is used to spur on a horse. It also features heavily in Guillaume le Million's regional mega hit, Don't Worry, Your Pretty Little Head. Sometimes you like to add finger pistols to the mix, because, unlike Guillaume le Million, you are a police officer. It's your nifty little way to say, I'm armed and dangerous. It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne-corked smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the stardust will return.
Да серьезно, что ли? 8% шанс, плюс То есть электрохимия 3 и эти плюс 2 и плюс 2. Невозможно 18. Это то есть мне надо выкинуть 2 шестерки, да? Только или нет? Стоп. 3 плюс 2 плюс 2. 7. 6 плюс 5. 5 плюс 6 и 6 плюс 6. Из двух... из трех комбинаций. Стоп, а у меня были же, по-моему, что-то на электрохимию, да? Ну-ка. На мне уже висит электрохимия, кстати говоря. Почему я очки потому что мне драма нужна была. Визуальный анализ-то вернем. Электрохимия. Электрохимия? Это тоже электрохимия. Скорость реакции, эквилибристика. Давайте так.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
17%
It's barely
шанс.
covered in steam anymore.
Я
Your
прибавил
face
одну
adorned
электрохимию.
with
Ой,
the expression.
это белая проверка. Ну а чё попытаемся, господи. Больше никак
It's
уже.
too late. Like an image on film. The expression belongs to your primary
1 плюс 6
motor
плюс
cortex.
4.
It will
15
take a
выбросили.
minor neurological miracle for you to cease producing it.
Ладно. Не получилось и не получилось пока. Да, белая проверка, тут ее можно хоть 100 раз. Гийом Лемион. Логика минус 1, голова в облаках. Мысли... Диск Elysium. Шкафчик мысли. Гийом Леминьон. Болевой порог +1. Психика, лимит всех навыков повышается на 1. Это, кстати говоря, неплохо. Появится это, я подумаю, наверное. Авторитет. Давляйте и властвуйте, заявите о себе. Так, что делаем? Что делаем? Время уже... Времени не так уж и много. На самом-то деле. Да. Дайте я... Открываю всякие книжечки. И, кстати говоря, не помню... Вот эту где нашел. Книга «Краткое описание инфраматериализма». Кажется, в этом она лежала. За дверью на воротах.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover. Because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see. To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections: international developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note. Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turned to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée, unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel. La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers. Only 4 issues in, and it sounds like they've already alienated their readership. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture. Why they decided to title this one section in Volda is beyond you. It evokes a sense of recognition and fellowship among those privileged enough to understand. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective. The Tip Top Tournée is an inter-Isolari racing series, mostly known for its high speeds, ludicrous sponsorship deals, and high death toll. In Revachol, it's held quadrennially on the prestigious Zero Carousel racing circuit. This so-called artist spotlight is really just a day, made all the
Cindy.
briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer. You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colorful drivers. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tournée. Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships, and then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes.
Что-то я сегодня хотел очень много поиграть в диско Elysium. Но что-то я сейчас такой смотрю, и у меня на мозг ничего не
So,
идет.
all of it, basically.
Ладно, может сейчас это проснусь. Ой, так.
Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines. Nasteb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka. There's no way those are real names. Have you ever met anyone named Exilus? Come on, they're plainly pseudonyms.
Блин, имя Исул звучит клево. Я не знаю почему. Я бы хотел встретить человека по имени Исул.
Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price.
Не
Every
захотеть
pleasure,
спать.
even one
Не,
as
не,
elemental
не в этом
as
дело.
enjoying
Я
the face of
просто...
others around a track is reduced to an advertising opportunity.
Я читаю, и вроде мысли у меня все равно об игре, а я что-то... Слова. Я не прокинул... Что я сегодня не прокинул? Ну-ка. Внушение? Но, видимо, очень часто работает так, пассивно. Я не прокинул восприятие. Вот просто не воспринимается, я не знаю почему.
Thus, the so-called tourney becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry detergent racing against a pack of Astra cigarettes, or even a fritter. And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of the 750,000 real races that you're really watching for. Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, it's the visions of brand names being engulfed in flames that you crave. It's the stilted language and overconfident tone that's the real giveaway here. You're almost certainly reading a recycled university essay, one that could probably use some edits.
По десятке кидаю здесь. Нормально. У меня 14. Притом десятка это считается средняя. Вообще, стоп. Она как считается вообще? То есть концептуализация у вас 14 пишет. Ну, 7 это вот прям... Ой, блин, 8 это вот это. А из чего 14 накидывается? 5 плюс 1 еще, что ли? Или что? Как здесь это работает, мне интересно. Шмотки тут тоже указано. Да, бонус от предметов. Не, ну типа, смотри, на 2 кубиках невозможно выкинуть единичку. Поэтому, возможно, здесь единичка. Плюс 5, плюс 8. Тогда все, типа, 8 плюс 6 это 14. Если оно складывается так, то... Ладно, понятно. Надо посмотреть, сколько у меня вот другие пассивные выкидывающиеся. Кстати, полицейская волна же здесь была, нет? Один раз. Она уже уехала слишком далеко, ладно.
Armed with Lena's friendly green ape pen, you spend entirely too much time writing constructive feedback in the margins of the page. By the time you're finished, the original article is nearly illegible.
You know, most people would just write a letter to the editor. Or even better, just leave it be.
Мысли туда тоже закидываются. Что вот у меня есть мысли? Мысли по концептуализации плюс 1, видишь? Не, плюс 5 это интеллект. Хотя, блин, вот 5, оно в этом уже есть. То есть 2 раза бонус интеллекта, что ли, идет? Я сомневаюсь.
I can imagine. Something tells me there's not exactly a glut of young communists teaching to write about tip-top for La Fumée. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. the table of contents unfolds before you. This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd.
Ой.
Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You're not even sure where most of these countries are. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First we take
Секундочку.
Martinez, then we take La Delta. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer G. Martin accusing the owner of the Capeside apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
У меня остались какие-нибудь витаминки? К слову. Секундочку.
According to these editorials, there can be no accommodation with the forces of international capital or their mucilaginous allies in the coalition. Judging from the context, it's something very large and fundamental. You should probably know
Попью
about it
витаминки
already, honestly.
D3. Если станет получше, станет получше.
You flip back to the front of the
Хотя сейчас
magazine.
лето.
The table of contents unfolds before you.
Полистали журнальчик, качнули 20 опыта.
Features the patchwork.
А. Ну-ка,
An intricate
фотография.
web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the. It
Я
still
тоже
kind of
смотрел.
looks like a map of the stars for you to discover. Someone who knows about history could tell you. A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest, found on the Semenine Islands and in southern Fas al-Amer. Known for their intelligence and general precociousness, cockatoos are popular birds in aviculture. However, they often exhibit various behavioral issues.
Попугаи, они умные птицы, они супер умные птицы, но, какие же они, зараза, хулиганы.
This book talks about the delicate nature of toos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts. The funeral cockatoo, the major majestic cockatoo, and the most common bang bang cockatoo. It's colorfully illustrated.
Что нет? Хочешь читать про какаду? Я могу положить книгу обратно. Потом почитаем. Мы уже одну книжку почитали. Я, если честно... Ладно, что нам теперь делать? Все равно бы это и не мы бы сделали. Ну так мы будем знать, что это мы сделали. То есть этот чел бы попросил кого-нибудь другого приоткрыть дверцу, так что приоткроем дверцу. Ну, придется выбирать
The door to
какого.
the weasel's den,
Кулон, ну
guarded by the
ты
lion-head knocker,
спойлерщик,
have
конечно.
seen better days. The leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't hear any movement. In fact, it's oddly silent
Ну,
in the yard
успех
around you.
слуха.
No birds chirp. You knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound. No response comes from the apartment.
I guess no one is in. Let's be honest. This isn't what I joined the RCM for, but every day tells you something new about yourself. Apparently, working with the local union boss to get info on an investigation is not something I'm squeamish about. I mind that the local thug is using the RCM for his busy work. But if this gets us to the bottom of this hanging, then I'm willing to look over it.
Найдите свою геральдическую птицу. Найдите, а не выберите. Понимаешь?
On the other hand, we could just leave and tell Evrard we opened the door.
Это
No one
разные
seems to be
вещи.
tailing us to see if we actually did it.
Ты следите за нами, проверять, сделали.
Yes, presenting a fabrication is known to get results here and there. You took this task. You make the call.
The door is right here. You can just open it and be done with this. Besides, if you never open it, you're never gonna find out what's behind the door. You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. There's nothing else to do than to leave and tell Everard. No conceivable reason for you to intrude on the premises. There might be important information in the apartment. I mean, there might. As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A little draft, a whistle.
Почему набитой одеждой, кто-то приехал в гости. Открытая книга «Тайный мир тростей». Солнце на флаге такое красное, что от него почти ощущается тепло.
This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty. This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle. It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how old
Что-то
Revachol got its flag.
нервное началось.
Mm-hmm. The tenant is an old-fashioned guy.
By old-fashioned, he means very right-wing. The flag doesn't seem to mind. It's just a colorful fabric with a sun sewn onto it. Like all feudal flags, it looks like a children's drawing.
Тот, кто же здесь живет, явно увлекается блондинистыми героями фэнтези с накачанными мускулами.
A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols. A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes. And a little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. There's something distinct.
Господи, как хорошо, что ты эту мысль прокачал. Господи, мне так нравится получать опыт, пассивный опыт с концептуализацией. Это ах.
It looks like the artist is celebrating diversity, but underneath, he's just making fun of these people. You ain't gonna change someone's mind by calling them a bastard. The lieutenant picks up one of the mugs, then puts it back down with a look of disdain.
I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man's apartment.
Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humor, the same mocking lines.
There's the missing tin soldier. Whoever lives here might have used the Whirling's container to dump his trash. And now they've drawn the ire of the Union. The plot thickens, as they say.
An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting to other clues down the road. Perhaps you should break into apartments more often.
Нет. Спасибо, внутренняя империя.
Who knows? I'm not expecting too much from this clothes in the trash lead either way. It might turn out to be some random local matter, but still, a nice coincidence.
You could ask Everard who this person is.
Угу. Логика +1, концептуализация +1, внушение -1. Блин, логику бы тоже хотелось бы, но концептуализация чаще срабатывающая. Это же хорошо. Мало ли здесь что-нибудь срабатывать будет. Естественно, это кто-то видел и... об этом расскажут. Доложат Эврару. Давайте пойдем к Эврару, наверное, опять. Блин, мне кажется, он опять скажет: садитесь в мой стульчик, и у меня опять будет убывать здоровье. Каждый диалог с ним будет просто сражение. Скам снова в деле. Снова область. Так, стоп, а что тут найти деньги, чтобы заплатить, знаете? Курильщик на балконе. Короче, шлюз. Короче, некоторые просто помечены временем.
How can I help you?
Говорить ему, не говорить, не знаю. Главомерсийный мужчина.
The file cabinet stands steady. The drawer slides. The
Сейчас.
file cabinets, hundreds of documents containing logistical data and the same materials you already went through all of these. Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes, special whirling borscht. All items on the list have been crossed out. The drawer slide. The already familiar cold touch of plastic welcomes you as you pick up the handset. The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move.
Слышь, свое имя, долгая дорога домой.
Your fingers run over the dial pad. 005. That's the dialing code for Revachol. 49 5-2, and a moment of hesitation before entering the final numbers. 993. Calling. Calling. Still calling. Then,
Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lummy. How may I help you? Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lummy. No. Sir, I don't know. It's a video rental. Maybe you rent videos here. Maybe you call to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period? Let me fire up the machine. Dubois. Dubois. Here we are. You haven't rented anything in 5 years, but you still have a copy of Blue Ocean Hell from November 46. Whoa, not a fun film, that one. It's not an easy watch. After the death of his daughter and subsequent divorce, Ziemsk immigrant Egidius Wojcik tries to come to terms with the onset of dementia. No wonder no one's been missing it. Still, it would be great if you could return it to us. We're on the corner of Voyager and Main.
В русском переводе, короче, они... Ну, это баг. В русском переводе они, короче, видимо, неправильно проставили получение опыта.
on the corner of Voyager and Main.
Не знаю,
largely on
нормально
side
работал,
lanes
да?
on the side of a
По
building.
поводу опыта.
Video Revachol, 24 hours. It's raining and there is almost no traffic on the street. A woman's footprints lead away from the front door. Tiny heels tiptoeing down the road. Beautiful steps, light-footed with a lifetime ahead of them. You look up and the air seems to grow darker. Suddenly you feel like you don't want to hear about video rentals anymore. You don't want to hear about any of it. It was all shit. It's it.
That's enough for you today. Let's conclude this call.
Получили 5 опыта. Блин, я тетку хотел еще проведать. Ну-ка. Здесь что-нибудь еще...
Snow is quietly covering the numerous wine bottles and cigarette butts on the ground. Someone partied really
Вот
hard
здесь.
here. Well, they went through 6 bottles of potent Pilsner, 3 bottles of Commodore Red, and almost 4 packs of cigarettes. It must have been pretty hard.
Происходящим.
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you. Yes, this looks pretty advanced, all right. For now, let's just move on.
This is the night watchman's.
Рене. Там лестница вниз есть, но...
You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to
Непредсказуемым
have
обстоятельствам
grown
прожил в
slightly.
этом мире 2 дня. Набор 20 грамм на кости сирена? Как мне это поможет вообще? Риторика 5. Но риторику я, если что, перекачаю еще. Может быть, кинуть? 18. Да нет. Сейчас какие-то графические баги были. Четки от Фаун серии Ультра. Кстати, да, давай сохранюсь. Что-то у меня вот здесь поморгало, тут поморгало. Мах.
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And lots of folk really did keep coming back. No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all.
Ну шо? Быстро сохранить здесь сделаем.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair. I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
He's trying to figure out if you're lying.
You're right, Harry. You only had to unlock the door, which you did. So we're all good here.
Соврем.
He was testing you, and you succeeded.
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good. By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps. Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire? I'm talking beasts, hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant. Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container. Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
By negotiator, you mean Joyce?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill. There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly.
That sounds a bit like organized crime.
They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
Again, that sounds like organized crime.
So these idealists killed our victim?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, boss. Socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land.
Ты мне тоже будешь лгать, да? Засранец, что там не было никакого 8-го.
He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this?
Как же все просто, да? Как же все просто. К нам послали наемника, чтобы нас расстреляли, а мы просто зачищались.
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error. Anyway.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members.
Секундочку. Это что такое? Это что ли? Нет. Рука сорвалась с ручки. Я открыл просто окно здесь у себя, и там в другой части квартиры закрылось другое окно.
Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets. But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
You can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real. I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real.
Дают, бери, бьют, беги.
The lieutenant watches you pocket the banknote. He looks a little.
Это не взятка, Ким. Это не взятка. У меня просто нету денег.
Good boy, a real team player. Now, do you have any more questions?
Это никак не отразится на дальнейшем расследовании.
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal. How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
So you believe the scabs were organized by the security contractor?
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes. Of course, you're always one step ahead of me, Harry. I'm no genius. I'm in this position because people like me. Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yes, Harry, it's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
A man of the left. So you have to be a social democrat. He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
What does your heart tell you about your lost gun, Harry? Does it tell you to forget about it? Or do you think it wants to be found? I think it's lonely and cold. I think it wants to be found, and I have a proposal for you.
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta. I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry. They are just gonna have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings.
Блин, он просто мне врет как дышит, скажем так.
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the street?
Am I? Harry, these people, Martinez is the most important thing in my life. I would never let anything bad happen to them. We're gonna build a youth centre there. The value of their properties goes up and kids have a place to play in. I'm looking out for these people, not pulling the rug from under them, Harry. I'm looking out for all of Martinez, not just the harbour. On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it.
Water drips from the eaves. A woman looks at her freshly tarred skiff. There's a pair of cavalry boots under the fish in the box, and the wind howls like a vicious spirit.
It depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Clare was very useful.
But, he thinks, it's your call.
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well, I'm gonna hand you the keys to Martinez, and maybe even help you figure out who's behind this killing.
He's saying as little as possible, as vaguely as he can.
Ты уже, блин, сказал это! Он дает минимум максимально неконкретной информации, намеренно опуская некоторые подробности. Вот именно. Мне кажется, пистолет у него в столе просто. На данный момент. И все. Им просто... хотите пистолет? Вот. Сделайте для меня вот это. Я пока откажусь.
No one's gonna force you into anything, but I don't know about that gun of yours. You see, I'm a vengeful man, Harry. Part of how I got well...
ты так заговорил, да?
I can be quite nasty sometimes. But the good news is, the moment you change your mind and want to look into this matter, just tell me, and we'll be buddies again.
The lieutenant's eyes meet yours. Okay, fine.
you soon, debarder. Just kidding. But not...
Побежим к Титу, но мне кажется, там будет плюсик новый и минусик одновременно. Кстати говоря, мне вот интересует, я перчатки фаун увидел, а где-то еще должны быть штаны фаун. Штаны фауна кулно покупаются, но у меня еще что-то фауновское было, насколько я помню. Какая же он сволочь, этот Теврар? Ну, тут довольно-таки все светло. И патроны. Нифига ж себе. Рынная винтовка.
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you?
Ну-ка.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, decide to block honest work for other people.
Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we
Have the right to work! There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks vaguely mismatched. The different pieces of the attire seem ill-fitting. His shirt is far too small and an unpleasantly tight fit, while the overalls, held up by a belt, seem to fit a man with much more corpulence. He ignores your question, choosing instead to turn to the emaciated workers, raising both fists in the air. The clothes are obviously not his. Silence is the answer. There's something off here, but he won't say what. You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
what's it to you? Am I a suspect? Done no crimes. I only fight for the rights of people. We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill.
A monstrous shadow high above the fire traps of the domain. The 881 motorway running over this district of Jamrock. Concrete pillars rise up from the midst of the dilapidated wooden houses. On the horizon, barely visible, the hazy machinery of the harbor. Life in the domain is even worse off than in Martinez. The cold air is stiff from the fumes of the motor carriages and lorries roaring overhead. Below, broken down, battered people mill on the dusty streets with no purpose. Yet amongst them, there is no sight of this man. Nowhere.
Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell? We're done here. I have a strike to break.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are
Смотри,
still
сколько
here.
у него.
Oh, so you went and talked to my mommy, and now she's making me play with you. Is that it? Lord?
Да.
And what's gonna happen if we don't? You're gonna go and tell on us? You gonna let him talk to me like that, Titus?
Let's see. Yeah, I guess I am. Big pussy. The old man sent word you'd be around again. That's the reason I'm being so forthcoming with you. Don't wear it out.
But having Everard back you up like that did seem to have some effect.
Велел сотрудничать.
Again, just get the dead guy's autograph, since you're his biggest fan.
Good one, Titus.
About fucking time.
Авторитет можно выбрать будет снова. Авторитет у нас на психике завязан. А Гийом, что там дает? Я забыл. Гийом. Навык повышается на единичку. Болевой порог плюс. Ну-ка. Короче, я просто посмотрел, я не знаю, где это достать. Не посмотрел. Есть еще такой навык на энциклопедию, чтобы опыт получать. Так. Слово. Еще раз Гийом. Я даже не посмотрел, что там остальное. Я просто в поиск вбил опыт. Ну, типа, это плюсик, конечно, болевой порог. Надо где-то еще опыта достать. Абузер. Ну, блин, я хочу теперь этот навык где-то найти. Арбузер, абузер. Умрак какой-то. Врар недостаточно мне
I've got
платят.
nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
Так, что у нас еще есть на повестке дня?
A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest, found on the Seminole Islands and in southern Fas
Так, я
Alameda.
это
Known for this book talks
слушал.
about the delicate nature of twos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts. The funeral cockatoo, the major majestic cockatoo, and the most common
Слушайте,
bang
это
bang
не три
cockatoo.
разных
It's
какадушек.
colorfully illustrated.
Мне просто интересно. Ладно.
Where to even begin? All cockatoos are known for their needy natures, requiring attention for at least 2 full hours a day. They love to talk and have been described as lovable clowns who just don't know how to wrap up. Pet owners also report moodiness, loudness, and hostility as recurring issues. If left unsatisfied, cockatoos may scream non-stop, pluck their feathers, or become aggressive. It is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them food every day and give them the full care that they need. These birds will never understand that you have a life of your own. You're right. Cockatoos are magnificent creatures. They love to perform, cuddle, and show off, and will even scream for fun, often as loud as up to 135 decibels. Not great for the neighbors. Performing? Yes, birdie. This is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Its specific name, Psittacus venereus, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed for a funeral, 24/7. There is something indisputably ominous about it.
К слову, блин, а где это было? Вот, да, я вот это хотел посмотреть. Жалкий коп 8. Хороший коп, плохой коп 10, честь 1, убито людей 3, раскрыто дело для 16, года службы 18 лет. Коммунист, фашист, ультралиберал, моралист 6. Я моралист.
Perhaps the most impressive of all the species, the endangered major majestic cockatoo, is often described as the most flamboyant bird in the jungle. Its pink-colored wings and flowing crest embellishing its proud and bumptious
Жалкий
nature.
моралист, да.
In the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier, few birds more enliven the monotonous hues of the verdant forest than this big, bold, and beautiful species. Despite its banging name, the bang-bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species, common in almost all Seminoles forests, as well as zoos and homes all over the world. Its plumage is mainly grey and white. The Seminoles name, bang-bang, is thought to be of onomatopoeic origins. Yes, but all those cockatoo species are so different. Which one are you?
Fuck up, Ату. Fuck up and the какату. Перевод отличный. Он не дословный, он хороший энергетический, я скажу так. Давайте королевского
You're
выберем.
right. Your Majesty embodied. This big, beautiful bird belongs on your heraldry.
Выйдем королевским. Какату. Время 19:30. У меня есть очко навыка. У меня есть карта. Легенда. Сила воли средняя, Джойс Месье. Карта на стене. Это стащить. Это стащить уже. Вот странно, что не вычеркивается. Другая сила. Можно легендарно, немыслимо. Охраняемая дверь? А? Там была охраняемая дверь. Не, они тут, я понимаю, тут игра слов, которую, ну, не переведешь. Факапату, извините меня, это... Как ты переведешь это на русский? Так что требовалось все-таки применить мозги, чтобы придумать такой перевод про попку-мудак, но он подходящий. Смысл прям один в один, потому что...
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff. Yes, after they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut. Yes, after they clear the terminal, we lose track.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also...
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
Просто положили трубку.
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
С ней в прошлый раз не договорил.
The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they're vulnerable.
How convenient that they're stranded like beached whales at that roundabout.
Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them.
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
Один департамент послал, блин, суперзвезду бухающую. Другой департамент послал наверное, лучшего. Потому что таким производит
We
такое
know the company
впечатление.
has launched its own probe into the union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to.
Хотя
find hard evidence.
Дюбуа, он бухающий лучше получается как-то.
Well, here's your chance, officers. No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
A cold breath rushes in from the bay, making its way down the alleyway
Господи, это
and
ребенок.
up old streets. From Martinez to Jamrock, in the traffic you hear the clinking of glass vials, concealed beneath tarpaulin. Or is it just your teeth chattering in the cold?
A lot of it. It comes in from large Samaran factories
Блин,
in
пипец,
South
другой конец
Seagull,
квартиры с той
and
стороны.
The literature
Я
they must
вообще
get from this
отлично
kernel
наушник.
alone must be oceanic.
Так вот.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is
То есть завтра уже мост
I'm sure you
опустится?
understand.
Или что? Или там переправа для пешеходов?
The two might even be connected.
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done. How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves. Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you. Yes? Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance. This reality.
Yes, reality is your
У меня
side
просто квест на это есть.
an experimental side case.
И... Еще опыт.
Ah, yes, the episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy now that I think of it.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Концептуализация 20! Концептуализация 20!
We're in Martinez, baby. Martinez is a district of Revachol.
Блин, ну если честно, я это буду прокручивать, скорее всего.
Unimportant, they say. Forgotten even. Shelled to smithereens during the revolution. It's not really.
Потому что слишком много. Слишком.
And the bay feeds into the ocean. Yes. We're on an island.
Я так и никогда игру не пройду, мне кажется, если буду прям все выслушивать.
Known to the early Revacholians as les immensités bleues, the blue immensities, vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
I would be happy to. What is a preposterously expensive education for, if not sharing?
А типа у меня зачеркнулось, да, уже? А, вот.
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late. For the big time. The revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next. Who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle. The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end nearly the whole world had gotten involved. It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government. Why? You and I, officer. Our life.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the coalition of nations.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated cell.
Да твою ж...
Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Alfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
И опять сбрасывают. Что за херня?
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune. Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-easlary communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
(51 minus 8 equals 43.
Time flies. The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed its...
All that untaxed income must have fueled the new. That can only mean one thing.
Yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. So, welcome to reality, baby.
Сейчас еще и третье очко будет, если концептуализацию где-нибудь прокину.
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million... Oh, and the anarchists too.
She likes the totality of it.
Извините.
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Yeah, it was a kerfuffle, all right.
Yes, the insulin deluge, they call it. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath... The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. About head shooting, the liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones.
Почему я не поговорил с ней раньше? Хотя я бы столько бросков концептуализации бы не сделал. Я был мудр, что не поговорил с ней раньше. Я это предвидел. Эта игра... Ладно.
To foreign intervention, the coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights. The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and the moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
A devout man of the center.
7 раз вступиться за политический центр. Самый уморительный на свете центрист. Извините. Слушайте, как хорошо, что я поставил ограничение звука. Оно же работает, да, коли он сейчас так... И это не было громко, да? Потому что я вижу, как полоска, она утыкается в эту границу, выше которой она не может уйти.
Good question. What would you have done differently? And you would have died, most likely. Not far from here. Maybe even right here. During the beachhead, defending the coast the day the coalition took the city.
The cold runs down your spine. She gestures toward the waters. The wind stops. There is silence.
No, almost certainly. The commune would have forced you. Such was the fate of the undecided.
Это негодяи.
They picked the winning side. That's why they're
Но записи на Твиче хранятся 2 недели. Кстати, я кое-что хотел посмотреть, дайте, пока не забыл. В августе у нас будет Балдура. В конце августа у меня будет дополнение Гилдварса 2. Не понимаю. Ты же еще вроде как начальник, не? Блин, все дорожает. Короче, дополнение на одном сайте, чтобы тебе купили, стоило сначала 3000 у одного человека, который единственный продавал это. А потом 3500, сегодня уже 3600. Отвратительно.
Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the pines to doom. I would have sided with the cannons.
Она, кстати, очень похожа на Железную Леди. Маргарет Тэтчер.
10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Failed. They are what they are. Anyway, enough.
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include, well, it's either bariatric surgery or long...
She nods slowly.
Hmm.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
Так что же вы такое?
And the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A I am an ultra.
Круто, я и сам либерал, либерализирую изо всех сил. Чё? Давайте так ответим.
No, not like me. I am the nether creature of the forbidden swamp who pushed the king. Are you liberated enough to offer up your home on a plate for financial colonists? No, I think not.
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
That dialect is Ubis.
Yeah.
You recognize the quote from somewhere.
Сколько я себе на уровень, короче, этой мысли. Она уже себя, наверное, купила, эта мысль.
Maybe you remember more than you let on. Despite whatever brain damage. I hope we're able to continue as friends, despite my scaly bulk. When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous... With due respect...
Я извиняюсь, что так вот прокликаю. Хорошая озвучка, но вот просто очень большой диалог. Под довольно-таки левые вещи.
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris. Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have turned the whole Isla down
Всяких
rather than let them...
товарищей на дороге пойдем проверять завтра утром.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
Чё за фигня? Мне уже третий раз звонит какой-то левый номер. Идите в жопу. Я уже сбрасывать, короче, просто буду. И бесшумный поставлю. Я беру трубку и сразу сбрасывают.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
You're no dummy yourself.
A smart boy getting smarter. one basic term of reality at a time. Yes, I suppose I am. But I...
Seditious talk, man.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
Двадцатка концептуализация. Это такой пипец.
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions? Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Gislain, 43A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two. A pre-revolutionary tenement.
Блин,
Old
пипец.
buildings are called tenements, you see.
Ой.
And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveau. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons locked 4 or 5...
Splat, splat.
Wonderful. The girl in the old lady rags looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture. Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in... She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is... I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the... All right. What next?
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
And what would that be? I can see that, yes. I dabble in those dark... Nothing infra about disco, baby. Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more of the new, a cultural era. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne-colored everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now, wasn't it Guillaume Le Million who said, if you can remember the new, you weren't there? Ah, yes. This is not very central to reality.
Я начну о нем думать. Короче.
I can't be 100% sure, but I believe he died due to complications from venereal disease. I'm afraid no. But then again, anyway, what other basic facets of reality should we discuss? Glad to have been of assistance. The little...
Сейчас.
Wow, you
Ой.
work hard. Oh, yes, you hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide.
Почему
Oh
эквилибристика?
yeah, like a horse, a workhorse, for hard work. Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic, sand, and linoleum. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't. That's just what it's like. Life and death. But you got
Жаберки
yours
на
inside,
месте.
baby. Got those black papers with the faces of the innocents on them. You bring in the Franco-Negros and the Solas. It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop, and a sprinter, and a money printer. Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into car? Are you rich? That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave, and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that? Because of the taxes. G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket, stealing from you every time
А,
you walk, talk, fart, so much as sneeze. Aren't taxes almost non-existent in the Gotham estate that is Revachol? You and I both, but they got those indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax. This tax that doesn't even have a name. Plus, there's the stuff people in other countries pay for that makes them ask for more money from you here. The Gotham estate's a myth. In total, the coalition government is taking 98% of all your money. What are you not sure about? They're milking your nipples till they bleed. Can't you see? Aren't you sick and tired of having bloody nipples?
ай.
It's all about the tax issue, Hassan. No
Способы
other
косвенного
problem in the world is as
налогообложения.
present as top
Так.
marginal tax rates. And don't you fucking forget it.
Налог. Косвенные способы. Ультралиберальный вариант диалогов дает плюс 1 реал? Да вы серьезно? И минус эмпатия. Я думаю, над Гийомом подумать. Да. Последний. У меня же там полицейская волна еще где-то была. Вроде как. Не? Ежная полицейская волна. Здесь тоже полицейская волна, да. Ну, давайте попробуем на ней прокинуть. Не прокинется, не прокинется. Что теперь делать?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day.
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you.
Ну
It's
ладно,
about
это я тогда вообще не
reality.
буду пытаться.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Так, наверное, надо сделать перерыв, как вы думаете? Да, 2 часа стрима. Надо сделать перерыв. Секундочку. Я, кажется, понял, как перенастроить свой стримдек. Но об этом попозже. Ладно. Перерыв примерно 5 минуток. Делаем чаи. Я немножечко сытый. Хотя, блин, я хотел заканчивать в 2 часа. Но мы, наверное, до 2:30 до 3 досидим. Вот так примерно. Так же, не, типа целых 2 часа я перерыв делаю. Сейчас я делаю перерыв. Я что-то неправильно рассчитал, а хотел сегодня так часа 4 постримить. Вот, ну, где-нибудь ближе к 3, я думаю, закончим. Может быть, даже и до 3:30. Вот. Поэтому перерыв. Итак, мы продолжаем наши... А, да, кстати, мы продолжаем, но без вебки, потому что я с чаем. Зеленым чаем. Пока без вебочки. Авторитет. Минус авторитет. Драма, стойкость, внушение, логика, сумрак. Близкая волна. А чё мне драма -1 делает? А, аккуратно офисные темные очки.
An intricate web of blue lines. It still kind of looks like a gone. For you to discuss, someone who knows about history could tell you.
Тот, кто знает историю. Ты вообще-то не хотел? Ну ладно. Что такое? Мысли, инструменты, время. Время проходит, когда вы выбираете новые варианты в диалогах. Диалоги? Ну, у меня вообще любые диалоги. Да. Выбрал, что продолжить, показать активные объекты. Быстрый выбор. А что за быстрый выбор? А, в диалогах, видимо.
The lights are so pretty when it gets dark.
Че, может, будем пытаться что-то...
Excuse me? I don't know. The most talkative one? The what now? You truly are one strange cop, aren't you?
The woman before you nodded and returned to her reading.
The lights are so pretty.
Блин.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right? Cracked it. All in a good day's work. What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is. Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman. Protect and serve, recruit. Didn't she repeatedly tell you her husband isn't Misinda? Do marriages make any sense? Does honor? You're not a filthy philosopher. You're an officer of law. It's time to ace this case and not brood over your reputation. We can deal with the perception management later. Not honorable, recruit. Not honorable at all.
У кого-то спрашивал про татуировки.
The mere sight of police in Martinez makes me feel safer already. How can I help you? I'm sorry, officer, but I really don't share food. Nothing personal, it's just a principle.
The only one you have.
Believe me, officer, I wish I could help you, but I need this sandwich to keep my blood sugar stable. In my age, you need to pay attention to these things. Fuck off! It's mine! Sorry, officer. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it in a bad way. But the sandwich is mine. I'm not gonna share it.
When the dissidents come to rape our country, he hides. But try to get a bite of his dear sandwich and he gets claws? We are a special kind of vermin, Gaston.
Alright, this is how we're gonna do it.
Колотить!
Like what, officer? This is as good as they come in Revachol, I assure you.
An array of delicious recipes flashes through your mind. Salads, salmon, sandwiches. Bingo. This calls for an engineering angle. Structural rigidity, exposed rafters, lattice works, that type of approach.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Mon Dieu, that is an excellent idea. That would virtually negate the component loss. Ce serait délicieux. Can you make that sandwich, officer? I hope you are not just tricking an old man out of the little he has left. Okay, sure. Everybody wins. But is there anything I can help you with right now to speed up the process?
Господи, эта игра чудесна. Теперь у меня есть сэндвич. Гигантский сэндвич с ветчиной.
The ham sandwich looks fresh and nutritious in your hand, begging to be eaten.
I like playing in the dark. Sharpens your maternal instincts. Feels like being on recon again. It's a Bell McGrave. 4.46 caliber. Breech loading. Revachol made. Good weapon. Accurate and reliable. This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty. Where did you find her? I'm not surprised. There are probably lots of forgotten wartime weapons lying around here. Back in the day, everyone had something stashed away. As for the rifle, I don't know what else to tell you. These BM-446s are an antique. No one uses them anymore. The ammunition is impossible to find. Yes, I was standing right here. I saw it. Why are you telling me this? No! I don't understand what you're trying to accomplish with this sandwich bonanza. I already don't like it. All of this is very unprofessional. Makes me think the citizens' militia is nothing but a badly organized band of I don't like
We're not. The officer was just...
You are representing an organization, an insignia, an idea.
It's clear these words mean a lot to him.
Everything you do reflects on the idea and the people you are representing. When we think of the RCM, we think of you. Please make it a pleasant thought.
Yes, well, let's just wrap this up and try to think about these things in the
Сэндвичный бунтарь. Я вчера съел дэндвич из Додо пиццы, и мне было мало.
The matter is closed. Now what can this old carabiner do for you, officer?
Возможно, когда-нибудь у меня на канале будет реклама Додо пиццы, как у сотни других стримеров. Но только не сегодня. Сегодня я буду рекламировать Додо пиццу бесплатно. 20:53. Чё, будем пытаться давить на авторитет? Я на самом деле хочу по...
Looks like the circus left town.
Сколько там?
But the clowns are still here.
Немыслимо 16. Сейчас. Блин, а это какая проверка? Это что-то, блин.
Looks like the circus left town.
Вы видели сейчас Киму как переклинило? Белая проверка, можно будет выбрать снова. Окей. Сохранимся. Хотя, блин, у меня сколько очков? 2? 2, да. Одну я на мысль потратил. Да, пожалуй...
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Пробуем, качаем, пробуем.
Establish authority. Yes. Authority. Feverish thoughts race through your mind. Did you already try the gun thing? I hear the gun thing is excellent and has great results. You're probably right. The others are only there for filler, to make the gun thing pop.
Ну, я что-то не знаю. Кстати, So Close, действительно, сколько я пробросил-то? 4 плюс 5. Двоечку не докинул, ну ладно.
Why?
This is not what he thinks it is. This is a great idea. I'm afraid it's not what you think it is either. Yes, you. Stop talking out loud. You sound like you're unraveling.
What in the name of fuck are you doing?
I don't want to give you my gun.
The fuck is happening, Titus? What are they whispering about?
Easy, Shanks. I want to see where this is going.
Блин, если она по пятому, мне кажется, там огромный минус будет еще. Больший минус, чем был.
And what is that? He does not like that phrasing. Neither do I.
Police job? Be careful, it's loaded.
Good. Now put it in your mouth.
Себе, бро!
I want to point it at them. Quit your whining. Everyone knows how to do that. You're a special man. You're going to point it at yourself.
Что?
Go ahead.
What are you doing?
Сука, извините.
Genuine panic flies across the lieutenant's face.
Fellas, you getting any of this?
He's not gonna off himself. Come on.
No. He'll do it. Go ahead, son. 3,
Тео?
2.
Kisses, kisses, kisses. No, give it to Lieutenant Kitsuragi. It's not too late. You can still spin this as some kind of test.
Я сейчас загружаться буду, да.
There will be no spinning. Do the honest thing. Pull the trigger.
What in the name of motherfuck?
The fuck is he saying? Some insane.
Nothing. Give me the gun.
Ну давайте. Подыщ.
Deranged cop. Citizens in shock as a deranged law official reportedly from the 41st precinct shot himself in the head last night in the middle of a crowded cafeteria in downtown Martinez. The exact details of the incident have not been revealed, but first-hand witnesses claim that the officer was making a point. Can't say I'm surprised. Lawrence Gart, manager of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria, where the incident took place, commented he was extremely unstable and
Это игра
threatened
чудесна.
to kill himself before.
Жители города в шоке. Вчера вечером на глазах у посетителей кофейни в центре Мартинеса застрелился помешавшийся сотрудник правоохранительных органов. Подробности происшествия не разглашаются, но свидетели утверждают, что страж порядка хотел что-то доказать. Я не удивлен, прокомментировал случившийся управляющий кафетерием. Танцы в трепе, где и произошел инцидент. Он был в крайней степени неуравновешен и уже не раз угрожал убить себя. Мне просто захотел. Я сказал, что я загружусь. Тут немножечко не хватало тех вариантов, которые я хотел. Ну-ка, еще раз попробуем. Кстати, прокинулось меньше. Гораздо.
Did you already try the gun thing? I hear the gun thing is excellent, and you're probably right. The others are only there for filler, to make the gun thing pop.
And what exactly is it you've been doing that's so goddamn special? Shitting yourself in front of us. Going around, harassing kids on the street. Kids who've done nothing wrong. All the while talking racist shit. Don't think we aren't watching, fascia. People here trust us. We're getting complaints.
Fascia. That's short for fascist.
So you keep saying, and I do want to believe you, but it's getting harder and harder. E, didn't Carly say something?
Yeah. Callie said you've been hanging around the daycare center. In the bushes, man. By the jungle gym. Trying to set up some weird field trip. To your station. That's in your home.
I can believe that. That rings true to me.
There is no Carly, and there is no kindergarten. It's a joke, and we are getting...
Please stop hanging around the jungle gym. Whatever you're doing there is making you look awful, and it's not helping you with these guys at all.
Вообще никак не... Я загружусь. Я не хочу так этого. Хотя, с другой стороны, там опыт, конечно, подкатывает, но не хочу. Немножечко сейфлоута буду. Извините, я 6 стримов не пользовался загрузками, всего раза 2-3, наверное. Гигантский сэндвич с ветчиной.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
Yes?
Секундочку.
The ham sandwich looks fresh and nutritious in your hand, begging to be eaten.
I'll pass. Thanks.
When you hold something up long enough, some people are compelled to take it. Try it on the lieutenant.
Что с авторитетом не так? Откуда он взялся вообще?
Thank you, but no, I'm not hungry. No. No.
The lieutenant's eyes express an absolute lack of interest. The lieutenant nods.
I'm just not hungry, and therefore have little reason to take it. Camaraderie? Is it really necessary?
The bond between officers, partners, are paramount. That's how trust is built. Trust saves lives.
О, господи.
Okay. They are all necessary. Let's share the sandwich if it matters that much to you. Sure. Time to go solve a murder investigation.
Блин, сам факт того, что я отобрал у старика сэндвичи и сожрал его с Кимом, заставил сожрать Кима, это прямо... Ух. Очки, визуальный анализ. Какая-то линия странная. Здесь баг прорисовки. Вы видите это? Что там, пачок какой-то? Почему я этого не видел? Вообще надо качнуть, наверное. Восприятие. Я хотел бы качнуть восприятие. На востоке виднеется бордовое свечение городских огней. Вдалеке слышен шум машин. На город опускается ночь.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. No one answers.
We should return in the evening. At 9 p.m. the earlier. Yes? What about me? No.
The The lieutenant nods.
What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ух ты.
The
Здрасте.
lieutenant's conceptualization skills must be rather rudimentary. The lieutenant is a police officer of the old, but this isn't an old school case.
So what? That makes you the new school? God spare us. For real detective work, nothing beats a good notebook by your side.
The lieutenant produces his familiar mnemotechnique A6 and idly thumbs through a few pages. We all have our different mediums. His is written.
Good. Let's change the subject.
Я, конечно, думал, что бросить, но ради чего?
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right again? Then I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. Trust me, you do. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around.
Besides, I've got to run.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
To the city. It's a beautiful night.
A man on high heels stumbles out of a basement club, music blasting over the entire district. It's chilly, and as the chemicals hit his nervous system, 1,000 shivers ripple. Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, alright?
Эй.
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a
Ну, какая чудесная мысль.
Who knows, detective? It's a mystery. Different, of course. His shirt. His shirt.
He's trying to dive deep into the mysteries of his shirt.
His shirt? No, I don't know why his shirt is always unbuttoned. Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. He's...
Окей. Ежеквартальный деловой журнал. Пустая пепельница. Тарелки отмокают в кастрюле. Как видите, по правде дела не приходится бывать по всему Левашой. Даррен на подпольной вечеринке. Изысканная металлическая кровать с балдахином. Смотрите, коническая шляпа. Старая фотография той же квартиры датирована 1 годом. Старогазета стоит в ведре с краской. Одной шелковый халат с драконом. Плюс драма, плюс электрохимия. Манифик просто. Я считаю, что это шикарно.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia. My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me.
Hanging? What a drag. He seems like a cultured gentleman. You should ask him about the finer things.
Тречка навыков.
Oh, we got it from an atelier in the East Delta Commerce Center. Personally, I think it's a little culturally insensitive, but the material is great. Sadly, the shop is now out of business. That's really all I can tell you about it.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight. Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here. Yes, as I said before, I'm a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stability. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the moral intern is joking or not.
La communauté internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. Your employer, technically speaking. The governing authority of Revachol. The RCM is but one part of this provisional administration. Whatever you wish, officer.
Сейчас, погодите. Да расспросю все-таки.
Most important thing. It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%. But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%. The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet? A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the Moral Inter. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our
Ну как ты мог? Я уже ждал. Больше мусора в инвентаре.
It's the International Organization for Moralists. Hence, Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies. As is
There are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
But of course. Well, do you value freedom? Do you believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values?
Блин, господи, почему я весь этот стрим, я извиняюсь, до Кима, а? Просто.
I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintaining law and order in Revachol.
A very moralist answer.
The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors.
Martinez? No. Martinez is something else. Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
Я это выберу.
Is this option D usually the most reasonable answer? Sounds like you're a moralist indeed, my friend. Welcome. Moralism is all about compromise and achieving. It's pragmatic, realistic, and level-headed. An ideology for doers.
Блин, не, это...
It looks to me like you are.
Если что, смотрите. Это занавеска так. Надулась. Блин, мне фигово из-за того, что погода меняется так сильно. Она за последние за последние 2 дня просто ясно небо. Вообще не ясное небо. Ясное небо, неясное небо. Так, я закрою, потому что занавеска на меня нападет скоро.
Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. What's there to say? Sur la clé is a murder. Moreover,
Дайте я прокручу, почитаю, но прокручу.
Darling, that can't be an official designation.
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur la clé. Whatever you wish, officer. Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man.
Это приказ. Ну, я не знаю, у меня прямо с детства, с ранних каких-то классов школы, у меня не всегда, но периодически, я не знаю почему, болят суставы. У кого, у каких врачей только не спрашивал, ничего не говорили. Ну, короче, и вроде даже не из-за погоды, иногда просто так бывает. Но вот сейчас погода начинает меняться, у меня чуть-чуть так ноют суставы. Коленки у меня, слава богу, не ноют. Колено, у меня левое колено почему-то ныло в младших классах. Просто жутко ныло. Но потом прошло, как подрос. Сейчас у меня просто ноют все суставы. Когда погода так начинает меняться хаотически. Зараза.
Sorry. Who? But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization. He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
За 30 же, ага.
As though you weren't envious enough of the boy as is.
Господи, это такое прекрасно, такая прекрасная мысль. Она реально уже себя окупила. Я чувствую это.
Printmaking? Who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him. Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, that it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since. EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations.
God, yes. Sweet standardization. The backbone of rationality and commerce.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole. A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident. You mean Revachol? No, it's one day going to be a candidate member of EPI.
Except that candidate members never become full members, do they?
No, candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? But we were talking about my friend here, not politics. How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze and au contraire. It's how millions of people end up where they are. Meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too. I'm just enjoying the view. We're old friends. Nothing's taboo between us. He comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's very active. I'm all ears, officer. I'm sorry to say I did, officer. Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in...
А что за 8-й след был вообще? Мне же казалось, что это какой-то типа след девушки был, не?
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
Неплохо закрыл окно, видимо. Или нет, неплохо закрыл. Просто еще вентилятор и забыл про это. И он отражается от задней стенки, короче, от стенок. Дул мне в левый локоть сейчас. Думаю, чуть не до конца окно, что ли, закрыл. Там был неглубокий, одна подошва была больше изношена.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Interesting.
I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very Martinez. Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their... I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell. I went back inside.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man. All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly. I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent. Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching. Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything. You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late. My watch. Yes, now I remember. It was 30 minutes past midnight. give or take. No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day. I'm sorry I couldn't be of more assistance. A moment, officer. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave. It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
Sure, go ahead. It's a beautiful space. Let me know if you have any further questions.
Yes?
Здесь больше ничего нет.
Was there anything else? I'm sorry to say I did, officer. Officer, it's very difficult to describe.
He holds.
What do you mean?
It was just so. I was on the. That's when I.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious.
I went back inside.
Were you able to see?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. Well, that's the strangest. Eventually, their shouts. I'm afraid I don't have any.
About what time?
All I can say is that it was late. My watch. No, I didn't see the corpse until the following. Of course. Anything. Of course.
Может быть, это то, чтобы... Сейчас я сохранюсь, я просто хочу, как он...
My friend.
Ой, блин.
I'm all ears. I'm sorry to say I did, officer. Because I did it? Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I...
He holds out.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so... I was
короче...
That's when I...
Sounds like the victim was unconscious.
Понятно. Ладно, я загружусь. Только так продолжать. Ну все у него спросил. Журнал неудачи ненависти?
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers without resistance or sound. The two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. Inside, you see 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard. It's slightly, ever so slightly, difficult to breathe once you've done so. The drawer is locked. Blue ink drips. Arson, petty theft, spousal abuse, handwritten logs on dozens. You don't exactly. It takes about half an hour to piece one together. Not much has changed in the meanwhile. Without resistance or sound, you stare at the card, willing your hand to move. It refuses. It's too much. 2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there. It's slightly, ever...
Понятно. Блин, офигеть, конечно. Ой, я все. Я хз, короче. Он не сказал нам ровным счетом ничего.
This door is made of metal. No one answered.
Let's go. There's nothing to do.
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says number 11. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise. No reply. No reply. You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10. The walking stops abruptly, but no one comes to the door. You can feel tension on the other side. A poor communard, from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Do I have to open the door? Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get inside that apartment.
It's generally easier to do things if you have literally any reason. A poor communard, from the looks of it.
Синди. Все закрыто. Да, закрыто. А если через отсюда попытаться подойти? Куда? Мне аж интересно. Ну, блин, там же темно. Здесь больше...
Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here. Look, the skis and rotorblades both bear the same Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other. That's a good question. Reality is ruthless.
Я уверен, что такие эти еще диалоги появляются от... Магазин через дорогу закрыт, может вернуться утром. А, понятно. И сюда просто не пускает. А эта тетка, она здесь? А, это дверь. Да, она до сих пор здесь. Ну, человек забавляется. А, так. Понятно. А если типа я уберу фонарь?
Yes?
Не-не-не-не-не-не-не-не. Дай мне диалог. Это какой-то баг, что ли, я не понимаю. Видимо. Все, короче, не хотят говорить об этом повешенном. Есть какой-то 8-й человек. И почему-то его покрывают. Это не была самозащита. Если бы это была самозащита, то они бы не скрывали этого 8-го человека. Тут еще что-то есть.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Yes?
Мне надо от Кима избавиться. Сейчас я сохранюсь, пожалуй. Увидимся утром.
I've got nothing to say to you.
А помню 2 штуки, которые надо сделать без Кима.
The man is decomposing visibly now. The body is reluctant to let go of the boots.
Whoa! Kuno's little sneak pig's back for the booty.
Yeah, fuck it to pieces for us, liar cop.
It's not completely useless. You're able to reveal a little more of the putrid polymer sock beneath the boot. It's not completely useless. You're able to reveal a little more of the putrid polymer sock. It feels like the leg is going to come off along with the boot, but you're able to get the boot to move a centimeter or two. Just relax. This is easy. This is happening.
Так, надо было сохраниться.
This is the right method. It takes some time, but eventually the boots come off, with nasty slices of polymer sock stuck to even bigger pieces of skin and rotting flesh.
Look, he's skinning the fucker up good. Puka style.
Hell, keep at it, pig.
The legs look like they've been clawed at by wild animals. As for the boots, you can't possibly do anything with them until you've cleaned and disinfected them. Yes, these absolutely need to be washed before. The stink is incredible. Didn't the Whirling have a kitchen?
Завтра отправим его. Эта тетка до сих пор здесь стоит. Ой, кто-то стащил ботинки ночью. Да, Ким, именно так.
You sit on the wind-worn wooden planks of the bench. Your feet ache. The twiddling barely keeps your hands warm against the frigid wind. This industrial gas-powered stove has been used to prepare food for many hungry hostel guests. There are several pots and pans on hand. There is a variety of soaps and bleaches in the cabinet to the left of the stove. It's bad with those boots. Don't be stingy now. The delicious smells of cheap soap and vinegar waft up from the pot. All right now, chef. Light up the stove and boil them. A commercial pot draws your attention. It's very large, gigantic even. It could be used to make enough stew to feed an entire city, and also to boil a putrid pair of death boots.
Какие крутые боты, я совершенно случайно нашел, да, именно
Vinegar
так.
forces you to step away from the pot. The water slowly comes to a boil. Strips of polymer fabric and human tissue separate from the lining of the boots. They float to the bubbling surface. A two-course dinner of rotten flesh and hardened ceramic. The boots look cleaner and cleaner. Those bits of human flesh are beginning to look cooked. You can smell it too. Just like beef stew. That's it, chef. The boots are as clean as they're going to get. Steam, dense with the smell of strange meat, disappears into the vent above the stove. A pair of real beauties.
Yeah,
The boots
30
are
опыта.
shiny, hot and reek of vinegar. Just
4 очка навыков. Ей. Теперь они одежда. Плюс 2 авторитета, минус самообладание. Да, бульончик, конечно. Но я уже сказал Киму, что я соберу всю броню. Я соберу всю броню. Между прочим, если вы посмотрите сейчас, где тут, то как бы вот на этом арте детектив Дюбуа держит пистолет в у него рука одета кое в какую перчаточку. Мы же не будем отставать от оновых штучек.
a mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. It's barely
Электрохимия.
covered in steam anymore. It's your face in the mirror.
Сколько,
A mirror
кстати,
hangs on the
надо?
bathroom wall.
Уже не показывается, зараза. Ну ладно. Ну 4 очка, 4 очка. Мы, наверное, разблокируем вот это на будущее.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
Электрохимия. Тоже с электрохимией. Драма, электрохимия. Ну, давайте попробуем прокинуть еще раз. Потому что почему бы и нет.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. It's barely covered in steam anymore. It's your face in the mirror.
Не получится, не получится.
It's like something snaps. A nerve ending, a thought, a sadness. Your face.
Надо было всего лишь одеться в это кимоно.
Of the layer that had distorted it for God knows how long. Just like that, it's over. The running gag.
Все, он успокоился.
A sad old man looks back at you. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
Все, я победил Гримасу. Ура! Мне это, правда, ничего не дало, но я портретик свой поменял.
The fan stands still. The switch must be broken. The switch must be broken. The lights are on. The lights are...
Чё, сохраняемся? Конец второго дня. В конце концов.
The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting. But it's yours. You've earned it.
Третий день.
The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Если здесь игра построена по принципу на седьмой день все равно сюда открывается, то это неплохо.
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man. It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you...
That pain in your right side is your enlarged liver, by the way. As for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. But this suffering, it must have some kind of meaning. A story that will come out of it. Perhaps even a story that you will write yourself.
Oh, yes. They'll check you out, give you some pills, make it all okay. The Wonder Makers.
Don't be stupid, Harry. It's not happening. They don't make new kidneys and livers in hospital. All you've got to do is pray to God it passes.
Кстати, на заднем фоне квартира.
At the flickering darkness.
You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people. Really looking. But why would you want to start doing that? Sure you do. They're all so friendly, aren't they?
At least they're interesting. Each one has a process just like yours, running in the space between their ears, full of secrets.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can.
Ой, новый третий день.
A mirror hangs on.
А он, наверное, внизу уже ждет.
The door is closed. Still nothing. Still. This door can only be opened with a key. The door is closed. Still, this door can only be opened.
Причем или изнутри? Просто заперлась там. Ого! Какие-то новые. Давайте начнем, по крайней мере, этот день. Доброе утро. Все так же здесь. Как спалось?
Yes.
Can I help you?
The woman in an RCM patrol officer's uniform winces as she notices you.
I would really prefer not to talk to you right now.
A patrol officer is the lowest rank in the RCM, below lieutenant and sergeant.
I don't know. I mean, why would I want to talk to you? No, you haven't wronged me. It's okay. Okay, fine. Let's talk. What did you want?
What does one talk about with a fellow officer?
What precinct?
Am I from? God, he doesn't know.
Fucking deranged lunatic.
You're getting an intellectually unsatisfying vibe from this conversation. Maybe you're doing something wrong.
I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything, Judith. Me? No. I'm just a man with sunglasses. I like wearing sunglasses inside. Sunglasses and a fucking wig.
Okay.
I'm just looking out for...
No one. I'm just a man with sunglasses. And you are?
Yes. A policewoman who just wants to do her job.
You look like shit. And I don't mean that as a metaphor. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm going by here.
Oh, come on, Jean. It looks like it's been a rough week on him.
It's not just this week. What do you want?
There's something about this guy that matches with a face in your head. A similar but different face. He might be wearing a disguise.
I'm not getting involved.
It's not my style, he thinks, glancing at the man in sunglasses and the woman beside him. Oh boy, then you know what it is. It's like the two of you know each other. Just ask him.
Oh, I definitely know you from somewhere.
Another life.
Yes, from another life. A different life. Maybe the life of a police officer belonging to the ranks of the... To what station do you think you would belong in this alternate and totally fictional reality? Okay, that's plausible. That's entirely plausible. Now we're really getting somewhere. Somewhere good. Okay. Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment? No, because in this thought experiment, we're all police officers in a police station. We don't do crimes. We're not crime bros.
Блин, это не босс ли?
Come on, stop it.
Oh no, no, no. You see, I enjoy watching other better cops solve crimes. And let me tell you, it's been quite a privilege seeing you work.
This isn't helping.
You're not going to believe this, but police officers. Yes, sir. Solving crimes, locking up bad guys, and get this, and not getting that drink on at 2 o'clock. Just some regular boring motherfuckers in suits and uniforms. Nothing spectacularly extravagant like you, the far-out son of Lang. Oh, it's you, you eccentric genius. I mean, with your unorthodox approach to police work, it has to be you. Not even a little bit.
It's an urban myth about an officer who is so far undercover he can't remember who he is. As I said, just an urban myth. You are not the son of Lang.
Okay, yes, you get the joke. Leave it at that.
Сколько мне там? Электрохимия чуть лучше. Короче, надо... Я хочу еще что-нибудь прокачать из верхних. Что-то вот здесь, там. Поднять, допустим... Ну, сейчас логика вернется от мысли. Возможно, логику. Возможно, концептуализацию еще немножечко поднять. Хотя, типа, можно разгонять концептуализацию пока что. Хотя хотелось бы вот это покачать. Вот это тоже надо покачать, психику. Но давайте концептуализацию одну, это, чтоб больше работало. Или нет? Или да, или нет. Вообще, пока не надо, ладно.
Neither can I, partner. Neither can I. Watch out for yourself, loser.
Okay, the man with the sunglasses and his hypothetical Station 41. Weird, right? There's something missing here. Something you can't put our finger on. You know what? Just ask him. I know it sounds crazy, and you'll probably get laughed at. But still. Yes, just cross it off the list. It's probably not true, though.
Again? I can't believe...
He might be wearing a disguise.
Hi, gendarme. Another rendezvous. Hi, hi. So what brings you here?
Такой не такой.
Oh yes, let's see. He knocked on my door a few days after the lynching. I think he was going through the entire building, asking questions. Oh, let me think. He had an accent. He sounded like one of those mercenaries. He sounded vaguely Oranese. No, not vaguely, scratch that. He sounded definitely Oranese. Yes, but he was speaking to someone on his earpiece. Just reporting back whatever I was telling him. Muscular, handsome, strong, like one of those military types.
Ну сюда послали троих, вроде как. Одного повесили. Второй начал разбираться.
Nothing. That I didn't see anything. What friend? No, I don't think it came up. Sure. Anything else on your mind? You did? And how did you like him? I told you, he can be very useful. I guess that's the charm of powerful people. Friends, I told you. Sunday friends. Friends who like to get together from time to time. That he won't be there when times get tough. I guess. It is. On Sundays. A visitor from the first world. He's not like you and me, gendarme. He can always return. To his opportunities in Occident, sur la clé. Still.
Здесь у него одна
His
прическа,
coming and
здесь
going brings
другая.
some life to the village. Or is it just money? I don't know. He has keys. And he likes the view. To the sea, I mean. Hmm? What about me, gendarme? Admiring the atmosphere. What about you, officer? Well, here's to you. Bye-bye, gendarme.
Блин, я забыл посмотреть в окно.
Behind the dockworkers, you see 2, maybe 3 bushes.
Еще не время.
Into a single thicket over a period of circa 50 years.
Надо было посмотреть ночью. Я забыл про это.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Потом. Выйдем, наверное, отправим труп. Сделаем пару вещей, и я закончу на этом.
The man is decomposing visibly now. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Сейчас. На восприятии есть что-нибудь? Драма, электрохимия. Не, ничего нет на восприятие. А вопрос такой. Я восприятие вообще-то хотел качать. Сделал проверку. Можно будет выбрать снова. А я пока... Сейчас.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough. The genitals in his breeches continue to...
Can't get enough of that dick.
Do you think we missed some?
You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before you.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination, and we need to do it fast. Hey, wasn't there a giant ice bear sarcophagus below that building?
Здесь неудачи, иногда это прям...
Now, that's an overstatement. It's not actually for storing cadavers, or at least I hope so. I think we should take a look at it first. Make sure it... Let's move. With every hour, whatever we are looking for in the deceased will become harder to find.
Он даже не обратил внимания на отсутствующие ботинки. Труп не трогай, это на Новый год, да.
The bear's eyes are dead and empty. Ice inside the fridge, slowly melting.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it's more than big enough and cold enough. Honestly, it's perfect. All we have to do is plug the fridge back in.
Only the black cable is a giant electric mammal awakens. The dead body is going to be...
Great. The owners of this building will just have to keep paying for the electricity sucked up by this monstrosity a little longer. Let's return to the fridge.
Ну, эта тетка сама накликала беду, ребенка жалко. Что теперь поделать? Вернемся к трупу или что там надо именно?
Watching over all the ice cream wrappers hidden inside its belly.
Of course. I'll take the head, you take the feet. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but we'll manage.
The body is heavier than you expected and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get down to the bed.
Спросить, я не помню, что я хотел спросить. Я вроде ничего не хотел спрашивать. Возможно, я неправильно выразился и поправился потом. Я хотел спросить, возможно, что-то в игре. Я не у чата точно хотел спросить.
Beautiful. A dead body in a nice bare fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
You have created an ice bear sarcophagus?
No, not really. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in a nice bare fridge. This story does not leave this room. Did we though? At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection under controlled circumstances.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge,
Заморозил
the
тело.
corpse stands slumped, waiting.
Ну давайте.
Your arm reaches out and your eyes close.
Oh!
Own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, dead flesh through the latex glove. It's right under the palm of your hand. His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything.
Иза. Ладно.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track. A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from his throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear.
Лакировка еще тот.
An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Abrasion collar.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage, wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem. Yes, that's what this part is called. The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again, never wake.
Навыка.
Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no...
Я вообще не подозревал, что вот так все развернется. Это прикольно.
The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. This is what he used to regulate his emotions with. The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper. Your fingers are all the way in now. reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly, cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger.
Сейчас окажется, что там мои документы.
Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger. You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just... The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove, sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
Стоп. Экспансивная пуля, которая не прошибла череп?
A bullet.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber rifle. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact. No, you deserve it. We can log it later. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of...
Ну, нежданчик. Все говорили, что его повесили. И вот тут вот я просто не хотел отпускать этот труп. Я уже думал, что ладно, отпустим. Что это просто на вот... А тут вот как оказывается.
Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput.
Просто...
How does that sound?
Рана... Небольшая выходная рана на затылке?
Opinion, fatal injury. And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
Потом окажется, что пуля это... Мы же стреляли по этому... Как его? По... Господи, как она называется-то? Ну мы же стреляли по... ремню этому. И это пуля. Мы просто как Куна на самом деле. Вся игра про это. Мы думаем, что мы не как Куна, но мы как Куна.
Yes, and the belt around his neck. The hanging. Even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead. I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation. There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here.
Секретное задание?
Well, no more.
We almost fell for it, he thinks. There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
To hide something. The real killer. The
Я
real
вообще-то
motivation,
вопрос логики
what's really
задавал, ну
behind.
ладно.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell.
Я думаю, прекрасный момент, чтобы закончить. Это открывает такой новый спектр. То есть третий день. Там открывается переправа, во-первых. Во-вторых, пуля. Пипец.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier. Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening. To put him out of his misery? It's possible, but it doesn't explain all the other dubious things here. Lack of struggle, primarily. I may be intellectually sloppy, but I prefer one theory at a time. And this just smacks of treatment to me.
Лишь бы стрим закончить. Ну вот так вот. Я скажу, я хотел постримить примерно 3,5 часа, 4 часа, примерно так. И думал, такой 11:30, прибавить 3,5 часа будет 14:00. Окей. Как раз в 14:00 я хочу заканчивать. И тут я понял, что я обсчитался. Просто еще надо кое-что сделать до вечера, вот. Поэтому закончим так.
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day. Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks, and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
Ну, я, наверное, решу на следующий день. Я с ним еще побегаю. С Кимом. Все-таки надо с Кимом именно бегать. Какие-то вещи без Кима, конечно же, прекрасно.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found.
Скоро там Гийом Лемион. У меня где-то минус координация. Да, еще художественное образование. А, это концептуализация мне как раз таки.
Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower. The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open.
Странно, что пуля не пробила черепную коробку. Просто экспансивка, если стрелять, мне кажется, издалека, то будет как бы, да, на застрянем теле она раскроется. Но если стрелять прямо... Извините, это как самоубийство же выглядело. То есть вплотную ему стреляли. Это не сюда попадание, ни куда-то на себе не показывают, но все же. Не сюда, не сюда, не сюда, не снаружи тела, а, извините меня, в небе. Как будто ему засунули пистолет и выстрелили. И просто скорость у пули такая, что она должна была, мне кажется, вообще нафиг весь череп вынести. Это не очень ясно. Может, эта игра объяснит? Но...
The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle usually in a cartridge.
What? Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say find the weapon that shot me. If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter. You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard. It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far? A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Something tells you that won't be anytime soon. This'll have to be one
Есть
of those
похожая винтовка.
that's open for a while.
Белая проверка. Можно будет выбрать снова. Координация 1. Сейчас координация. У меня, во-первых, по-моему, мысли же, да, координат? Не, логику она выбирает. Координация. Координация. Скорость реакции. У меня ничего нету на координацию. Ну, всего лишь единичка. Бонус от мыслей. Ну, попробуем.
The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM. You can't remember what happened last week. What makes you think you're going to remember Arcane?
Ладно, давайте тогда перебросим.
The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. A rifle, revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an
И
antique.
как хорошо, что я эту винтовку старую не продал, которую я здесь же нашел.
The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindia.
То есть это еще из винтовки ему так в глотку попали.
50 years ago. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber. No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling. Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order.
What are you thinking? Bullet? Okay. And? An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez, or anywhere in Ravachol, really. Sure, there's some arms trafficking, but the laws prohibiting the use of breech loaders we inherited from the monarchy have been effective.
Вот мы до 3:30 почти добрались.
Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzleloaders once
Знаете, на
they're trained
следующем
with
стриме.
military
Но
grade
тут
weapons.
в середине
They
диалога
realize
нельзя
it's worth it
сохраняться,
to
к
do it.
сожалению. Просто меня на этот стрим, на самом деле, я такой, Disco Elysium, и начинаю стримы просто очень медленно, я такой соображаю, ну вот что-то там было, что-то вот тут вот, и вот что-то как будто уже все упускается, и надо просто рисковать. Тут или типа ждать, вот до среды подождали, и как все вот прям, и среда, и у меня на следующий стрим будет просто, я сразу буду по всем ходить. Я раскрою это дело. Короче, настроение поменялось.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation. Doesn't seem that likely, but we'll check out all possible leads. Next step, finding the gun itself.
Пулями калибр 4,46. Никто здесь не забрал ничего.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine.
Ну, короче, да, выходим на улицу и... решаем, что делать. Кстати, Куно-то там остался. Скучающий мальчуган, труп отобрали. Ладно, все. Пока вот Disco Elysium, вообще, я говорю, это, наверное... как бы это сказать? Да какое? Из того, что я играл, это, наверное, лучший квест, из которых я когда-либо играл. Именно квест-квест. Я в такие игры редко играю, но... А потому что они редко хорошие, к сожалению. Они, к сожалению, редко хорошие. Но Disco Elysium прямо... Прямо... Я не знаю, ну... На миллиард из миллиарда. А, не то. Не то. О, вот так вот. Что ж, возможно, вечером еще постримлю. Возможно, Агентство Шторм, возможно, Disco Elysium, но, скорее всего... посмотрим. Я Disco Elysium не хочу... Я думал, я его, типа, играю сегодня, отложу до понедельника. Теперь мне так, зараза, интересно, что... Я постараюсь, ну, может, вечером, может, завтра. Посмотрим, как удастся. Ну, прям вот... Ух, как это прямо хорошо. И притом самое странное, что на «Посмотри в меня еще раз», то есть там... Я же смотрю... То есть в глотку мы заглядывали. То есть после того, как Ким закончил осмотр, я посмотрел в рот, я это точно помню. А потом были вот эти странные диалоги с мертвецом, в итоге, в которых именно эта опция «посмотри в меня еще раз», «посмотри мне в рот еще раз», он так, по-моему, сказал. И вот из этого это прям ух. Щупало за все места, ага. Не, ну, блин, поиграться с языком, кажется, что это важно. Это, конечно, 10 из 10. Не, Disco Elysium прямо... Я не знаю, это игра, которая, если даже потом она... Не хотелось бы, чтобы она испортилась, но пока она прям на 10 из 10 точно. Если у меня, по-моему, была парочку пререканий там насчет чего-то, но я даже не помню их, поэтому 10 из 10. Потому что в своей цели, которую я вижу, была у разработчиков, прямо цель выполнена на все 100%. Вот. Пока идеально. Ладно, давайте увидимся, возможно, вечером. Всем пока-пока.